What up, guys? Fight Fiend Mix here, coming at you with another video. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. So as you can tell, it is night. I am leaving the T-Mobile Arena. I attended the Canelo Jacobs fight. Shout out to Chris Robinson from HustleBoss.com. Dude is a rock solid guy, always doing me a solid. I work with him, and if you ever watch any of the videos on his YouTube channel or his website, chances are they're recorded by me, specifically anything in Vegas or Southern California, because he hooks it up with these credentials, and I try to come through with him for him. So shout out to Chris. T-Mobile Arena, as you can tell here. I don't know if you guys can see the banner that they're taking down. I'm gonna walk in that direction. So guys, just a quick, I don't want to make this video too long or anything, but my thoughts on the fight, for those of you who haven't, I'm sure you guys already know by now, but Canelo wins a unanimous decision. A little closer than I thought. I actually judged it 117, or scored at 117-111. One judge had it 116-112, and the rest had it 115-113, which is a little close for my taste, but whatever. If I can, ultimately the right guy won, so I can't complain too much about the scores. Can you believe Juan Manuel Marquez? I was reading earlier today. Well, as soon as the fight ended, I was going through my Twitter feed, or I'm sorry, my Instagram feed, and Juan Manuel Marquez flat out said that he saw immediately with the criticism, not constructive criticism, but like negative as criticism. He said he saw a slow Canelo, a tired Canelo, and even one as far as to say that he had Jacobs winning the fight. What the fuck? What the hell? Kind of straight up like, damn, man. Like, I don't know, with envious motherfucker. What the hell, dude? How you not gonna support your damn countryman like that? And who the hell, like, it's almost like he's doing that shit on purpose. How the hell does he have Jacobs winning that fight? Straight up, he said, I saw a slow Canelo and a tired Canelo, and the American one, he said, that's the term that he used. Oh, by the way, just want to toss that in there real quick. And then these guys take it down, that badass banner. So, I mean, that's bullshit. Plain and simple, it's straight up bullshit. No fucking way did Jacobs win that fight. So, my thoughts on it. The fight wasn't as exciting as we thought. Sorry for the light, guys. I mean, I don't know how to block it with myself here. But the fight wasn't what we hoped. Not every fight can be a barn burner, if you guys want to check out my my predictions video, I'll post a link here somewhere. But it kind of went down similar to what I predicted. I figured that Jacobs was going to backpedal. I think he was going to running into some people here. I felt he was going to revert back to the game plan with Triple G, basically backpedaling, initiate clinches anytime he was cornered, and he did exactly that. I was expecting a few more, well, not a few more, but plenty more body shots by Canelo, and although he did land some, he threw many, he outlanded Jacobs overall in the punches. I'm kind of going into like a dead end here, so my bad, guys. I'm just going to turn around and keep walking. So he outlanded Jacobs overall, and he did land a few. I mean, if you look at their faces, they weren't marked up too much. He did go to the body as I anticipated, but he wasn't able, I don't think he was able to really ever hurt Jacobs. Regardless, he had Jacobs on his heels the whole time. Jacobs was backpedaling basically the entire time, which is surprising because, considering the size advantage that he had, because for those of you who may or may not recall or don't know that much, there was a clause in the contract that said that this is a middleweight fight, which is the weight limit is 160 pounds. The clause said that Daniel Jacobs cannot weigh more than 170 pounds the day of the fight. Otherwise, there's going to be a fee of, I think, 100K or 150K per pound that he was over. He weighed in this morning at 173 pounds. So that fool had to fork up like 200 some odd K for that. Now, during the press conference, Jacobs said that the plan was probably never to make that down. They made the choice, they made the decision to go above that 170 pounds, which they did. So, fourth of the cash, probably the biggest payday ever, but I don't think it was gonna hurt him, or that forking up that cash wasn't gonna hurt his purse that much, to be frank. So, anyway, that being said, he's naturally the larger middleweight, taller, heavier, presumably tonight. And still, he backpedaled. He never planted his feet. Well, he did a few times, but not as much as we expected. Didn't plant his feet, didn't use his weight advantage, didn't use any of that. He basically backpedaled the whole freaking fight. So it was disappointing when just this damn near looked like Canelo's fight with Eddie's Lara, with Eddie's Lara. It looked like Lara and Canelo. It did. It was basically, Jacobs backpedaling the whole fucking time. It was disappointing. When one guy doesn't want to fight and moves around a lot, doesn't really engage as much or initiate combinations or initiate exchanges, it makes it difficult for the other guy to make the fight, right? So, understandably so, it wasn't as exciting as we thought with a game plan like that. Exciting as we had hoped. But what now? Well, during the press conference, they were asked that question hella times by different fucking reporters. So, next for Canelo, they were pretty vague in their answers. They wanted to rest. Yes, Canelo flat out said that he wants the other belt out there, the WBO middleweight championship, which is held by Demetrius Andrade currently. Now, Andrade fights in June, and they mentioned during the press conference that if he fights in June, and should he win, a fight in September might be too soon. So there's a pretty good chance that it's not going to be Andrade. Andrade. He says Andrade, but it's like spelled Andrade. So they haven't really mentioned. I mean, they did say that they wanted, during the press conference, before Canelo got on stage, De La Hoya was talking about even a super middleweight and light heavyweight with Kovalev, and just tossing out names out there. I think he was just trying to buy time and stall until Canelo got on stage, really. So, anyway, in case you guys haven't already mentioned it, yes, I am walking around T-Mobile Arena, the Toshiba Plaza. So that we're not really sure what's next with Canelo. Chances are a third fight with Triple G, should he win on June 8th, I think is his next fight. But again, June come September is just too soon. Realistically, that's probably not going to happen. Now, what's next for Jacobs? Well, Jacob said a few times, as a matter of fact, that a move to super middleweight is likely, considering how big of a middleweight he is and how, he didn't really say that it was difficult making the weight, but you can tell he looked pretty fragile on that fucking scale yesterday afternoon. So chances are he's going to move to super middleweight. He says that he can still make middleweight, and at least that's what he implied, but it's a pretty good chance that Daniel Jacobs is going to go up to super middleweight, which is good because he's a big guy, and I don't think he's going to be lacking power or size there at all whatsoever. So a move to super middleweight is probably a very, very good idea for Jacobs. Not sure what's next for Canelo. He did say a few times that he's looking for that other belt in the division, and then Jacobs did mention that a move to super middleweight was very, very realistic. All right, guys. Without making this video too much longer, because I just bought these fucking Vans right here. I don't know if you guys can see them, and they're like shredding my Achilles like a motherfucker. So I guess I need to wear like longer socks or band-aids on my Achilles or something to cover up those damn blisters that it's giving me. So to not make this any longer, one more time, shout out Chris Robinson, hustleboss.com, for hooking it up with these media credentials. Thank you so much for watching. Have yourselves a good night, good day, good evening, whatever time of the day you guys are watching this. Fight Feed Mix here. I'll make sure to leave that link for the my prediction video so you guys can watch that to see how close it resembled the fight itself. Thank you once more for watching. Have yourselves a good night.